Tanya, are we ready? Okay. Okay. I'll call us back into open session. In executive session, we discussed legal advice on personnel matters in the police and fire departments. We took no action. Okay, reports and recommendations. Mr. Meadows.
I think on your desk, if it's not there, we'll get you one, is a schedule of events that Amelia Davenport has put together through the rest of the summer.
You talking about this one?
Yes, sir. So just wanted to call your attention to that. Also, going back to what Ms. Cronick spoke of earlier on in the meeting, I am working with the South Carolina Office of Resilience and USDA to develop plans regarding the most recent rain event on Memorial Day. USDA and SCORE also are looking for funding to be used for our stormwater survey. And I'm actually meeting with SCORE on August the 6th and later on in the month of August with USDA to discuss that problem and also the problem on Calvin Avenue where the creek comes down and behind the gentleman's house and has eroded his land away. So we will be discussing that again in August. And her issues are not falling on deaf ears. We are working towards a resolution there.
Is that USDA, like U.S. Department of Agriculture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We actually did a project further on down Calvert Avenue behind Larry Franklin's house earlier in the year, where we had some erosion going on there that was going to very likely involve a sewer line that we didn't want to mess that up. It'd be a bad scene for everybody. So we've gotten that corrected. We're now waiting on USDA to refund the money that we spent on that project. So it's been completed for quite a while, and due to the government shutdown, they didn't get our money to us when we wanted it. Also, last week at our recreation complex, the YMCA held some soccer camps there. We do have two large regulation size soccer goals and a couple of smaller ones for folks if they want to go out and kick the ball around and use those. And also the splash pad out there is operational. And I am working with the YMCA on some rules and regulations and other things that I'll be bringing to you maybe in August or September as far as uses for the recreation complex. But in all practical purposes, it's usable right now for anyone that wants to go out and use the multi-purpose field.
So it's open to the public?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Also, we are in the process of putting a gate up out front. Vernon's working to get that done, and he got quotes in last week, and so that should be taking place in just a few weeks, and hopefully have it operational and closed up in late September and early October, somewhere along those timelines. Did find out last week the CEDC had entered into a contract with SW Properties for the Leonard property. Did find out last week we will be closing on that property toward the end of August. The water line installation on West Pitt Street has been completed, and the traffic change on Pitt Street began today. And did see a couple of people going the wrong way, but that's to be expected. And Randall and I talked earlier today. We're going to get the gentleman in here to do the parking spaces, and also we're going to ask him to put down some arrows on the street. So,
have you seen the change out on in front of Templeton PE Center where they've one-wayed it and put in
No, I have
angle,
not. We
angle
talked about-
parking and with arrows down there. It's pretty,
Gives them more spaces too.
yeah.
A group of us meet for lunch every so often, and we discussed that, but I did
It's-
not know that they had followed.
Yeah, it's
That's correct.
just gotten done. They've closed off both ends of it and they resurfaced. They didn't resurface, but they sealed the street and then painted it,
Put
striped it,
parking spaces down.
and with the angle parking, just like what we're doing, planning to do on Pitt Street. So looks very nice and it's pretty self-explanatory. It'll take some getting used to for folks. You can only enter it from the Maple Street side and go out the other end. So
Okay. All right.
sorry,
That's-
didn't mean to
that's okay.
jump in there.
That's all I have for you tonight.
Okay. Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I did give you the report for the first 11 months through the end of May. Once again, we're running right on plan. I don't have any big surprises. I think the only big surprise we had was the Leonard property sale that Joey had just mentioned. That was, we did account for that in our budget for this year. It's not going to happen until September 1st or right around there. But we still had enough left over that we could still use the transfers from the utility fund and still have both funds in the positive. So we covered that gap by missing that one thing. The good thing is just about everything else, we hit our numbers on our budget. From revenues and expenses. Right now, I'm in the middle of closing the year. I did a soft close this week, or late last week, and it looks like we have hit where we want to be. As far as it goes through the first 11 months, the general fund had revenue of just over almost 9.3 million, or 88.95% of our budget. We have one last push at what you'll see in June, where we made our budget was when we got the CNNGA payments and the large business license payment from the Municipal Association on the insurance brokers. Those things came in as planned, and actually we're still waiting for a little bit of the more money from CNNGA because they have not finished their audit yet. But everything came in as planned. We pretty much made all of our revenue goals except for that land sale on the general fund side. But overall, we're still gonna make our revenue for the year. Expenses on the general fund side were just over 8.9 million, or 85%. So we were a good 5% under what would have been up to date for the 11 months. So we're, once again, we have been controlling those costs and just watching everything that we spend and make sure that we stay within what our cash flow allows us to do. With those two things said, the positive fund balance through the end of May for the general fund was $376,000. So, when we look at being break even, we were a little bit better than break even. So it still leaves us in a position that we expected to be in. On the utility fund side, the revenues were 22.7 million. That was 92.25% of their budget. Slightly ahead. Once again, we didn't break records, but we were ahead of the whole entire budget at the end of June. What it looks like to be about probably about 200,000 or 300,000 ahead of our utility fund budget. So still, once again, a good year. Just we hit our numbers very close. Overall, the department expenses for the utility fund were 21.9 million, and that was 88.97% of the allowed budget. So once again, still a little bit behind on the spending the money. So we're keeping that positive cash flow. So through the end of May, we had a positive fund balance in the utility fund of $808,000. So, as I expected, we rounded out the year as on a positive note with all the other things coming in, and I expect that to kind of continue into our next fiscal year 27 budget. just pretty much the same. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Any questions for Mr. Stevens?
So on this report here, Enterprise, we're renting vehicles in each department here?
They're not in each department there, but there are several departments that have vehicles, yes.
That we're leasing, renting, or what?
We've been leasing them for the last 2 years, two and a half years.
So, and then, where is that? The YMCA, is that $18,000
Yes, ma'am.
for,
We have always paid the YMCA to be our recreation arm. And that is the payment that we budget every year.
so this is once a year?
The 18,000 is every
Every
month.
month.
Every
The
month,
budget
yeah.
is, we pay them,
300.
no, 218,000.
Which has been that payment for nearly 20 years now.
Well, and it has, and I have tried to creep it up just a little bit
Yeah.
each year for the Y so they can cover their costs.
Yeah.
But right now, we are roughly 20% of the YMCA's budget. So, as we get
And
better.
have been forever, just about, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, and then West Electric, the electric meters, so we don't have guys that can install meters, electric meters, we have to,
We do.
but
The
why?
one that you're looking at for West Electric right there is a special meter that allows us to bill DSS for their usage over there that we have to do within the MOU that we have with the county. So we had to get West Electric in here to do that special meter. It's not like the regular meter you would see on the house. It's an electronic meter that they have the current transformers in the power boxes downstairs that allows us to get the reading on the air conditioners and the lighting for DSS. And we bill them separately monthly as a customer.
Okay. And then that Mead and Hunt, what's Mead and
that's
Hunt?
Safe Streets for All. So we had to, the original $100,000 grant that we had for the first phase of Safe Streets for All, we incur 20% of that cost, but we have to pay Mead and Hunt before we can get a reimbursement from the federal government.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Stevens? Okay. All right, council members, Ms. Williams.
On the, well, I don't know if Mr. Meadows can answer this on the code enforcement, because, which is some pretty good numbers there, 76 out of 144 cases. What are we doing to, because I know you mentioned something a couple of months ago about renters doing, because we got a lot of rental property that in bad shape, to say the least. So you had mentioned something about, I think it was the first of the year, about getting rentals to sign some kind of agreement or something of getting their rental property inspected. Because are we allowing renters to keep utilities in their name so that when we're not?
So the utilities, well, let me see, let me retract what I just said. There are some instances that the property owner has the utilities in their name. We've worked with property owners over the years back when I was in utility billing, because that was they can get left with a don't remember, what I may have said.
I
about
can
having
go
the-
back, yeah, and pull that. It was something that,
We talked about at one point about if it were outside the city limits, they had to sign annexation agreement, but Tim is working as hard as he can in a one-man show right now to keep those up. Every time, a property changes hands, when one renter moves out and another one moves in, there is an inspection done to make sure that it is up to code. And, we take a lot of safety and health of that, renter into consideration when they do their inspections. He is fighting grass right now and, among other things, but, those inspections do occur each time the renter moves out and another one moves in.
so Harold Trailer Park, is that in the city or outside the city? It's inside the city? I mean, and those, I mean, so we just don't, you know, unless someone move out, that's the only that's the only way that we would check, that property, because
That is correct.
half of those do not have underpin, and I thought that was ordinance that they are required to, trailers are required to be underpinned. That trailer that fell over off the, off its foundation, yeah, that could have possibly tumbled and took the rest of them down. I mean, I'm just looking at those mobile homes, and I mean, all through there is no underpin. The few that's there is torn down, and I thought that was part of our ordinance, that it was required.
It is, and I will speak with, both the building inspector and the code enforcement officer in the morning, sir.
Can the tenant call up and ask for an inspection on their place?
Yes,
like
ma'am.
Wherever
We
it's,
have had that to happen.
that they don't feel it
When the
meets
tenant-
code?
When the tenant, at some
They're afraid
point
they're gonna get put out.
landlord to repair things, we have to have them call and request an inspection. So they can have it in writing that it had been requested.
And a lot of times tenants will not call because they don't have anywhere else to go, and they in fear that if they did call to report it, that the landlord will put them out.
That's a possibility, yes.
But I just thought with the city, that the code enforcer could go out there and get with the owner and say, hey, you need to clean this property up.
And they can.
Okay. And then, some feedback on the amusement director, it was good. You know, of course, on Clinton Talk, we got a little negative, but I think it was good to be able to have that out there for the children. It was a little congested. The streets was not, I don't think the streets was closed off. Some people was concerned, you know, with the children running across the street. But I think it was good to see, you know, a little action going on downtown. Although I'm not a rider, so I don't get on anything. I just wish we had a big enough property that it would have been stretched out, that it wasn't so congested there. But I thought that was nice to be able to have, and hopefully we'll have something else. I think they have Juneteenth rescheduled.
I believe it's the 9th.
The 9th, they have Juneteenth rescheduled for that, so looking forward to that. And just want to thank everyone for what they're doing, and glad we was able to get the community grant, get that resolved, and hopefully be able to get those that was awarded, get their checks to them as soon as possible. So other than that, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Coxton?
I think the festival was well, you know, had a little bumps or whatever in the road, but I think it was a success. I mean, everybody wasn't able to travel this past weekend or whatever, and I think it had a good turnout. And, I mean, it's always, you gotta start somewhere, and I think it was definitely a plus, so that's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Kirkendall.
Just want to thank everybody that was out in heat and was able to battle the heat. And that's not saying much, but I tell you what, we've had some record temperatures that, type of job I have, it puts me out there a good bit, and, it's been brutal, so thank you for your hard work.
Ms. Walsh.
Just want to recognize all the ambitious young women who attended Girls State here at PC at the beginning of the month. Then they learned about local and state government, and it was a meaningful experience for a lot of those and a great opportunity for them to see our town and PC. It's a great thing that we have. And also Team USA starts in 40 minutes, World Cup, let's go.
All right. Okay. Well, I know during Greg Nybert's basketball team camp, I called Joey one day and I said, so I've seen a little bit of what we got coming in the future. I was downtown eating in a couple of different places, and every one of them had there were moms and dads with smaller children and bigger kids that were basketball players on these basketball teams that came from 3 states. Came from South Carolina, there's teams from Georgia and from North Carolina here. And I said, you know, with our recreation focus that we've got, that's gonna really grow, and I think that's just something that's gonna be good for our future. So anyway, everybody that's been working, I see folks out working, doing their jobs in 100-degree heat, and it's hard, but it's heroic work, and it's work that makes our city better, and we appreciate everything everybody does. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Walsh, a second from Mr. Kirkendall.
Go.
Oh, she's ready. I don't know. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. We are adjourned.